What's up, Ranger Nation? It's your boy JB, and I'm here this morning with the review for Power Rangers Beast Morphers. This is episode number 18, and it's titled Rewriting History. So, you guys, we only have 2 more episodes left until the season finale of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, and we'll be getting ready to go into season 2. I'm excited for season 2 because I don't know what's coming for us. I'm really excited for season 2. You know, this whole first season has been really, really good, so I'm looking to see what the second half is going to be like. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just jump into the review. Alright, you guys, so the episode, we see Steel. Steel is walking around town, and, you know, it's so funny. I think Adam from A+ Opinions has mentioned this, and I think I mentioned it as well. It's just really interesting how Steel can walk around the whole city free, and, you know, nobody says anything to him about it. But when the Beast Boss walking around, it's like, oh my God, you guys, you cannot walk around. They're the same thing as Steel. They're robots. So what's the big difference between Steel and the Beast Bots? I don't understand it. And no one is afraid of Steel. So Steel is just walking in the city, and people are just like, oh, hey, big, giant, scary-looking robot. We're not afraid of you. Hi, Mr. Big Robot Scary Guy. Okay, if that's what they want to say, then cool. But like I said, Steel, he's walking around the city. He sees people with their pets, and he's just amazed. He's like, so is this common for all humans to have pets? Zoe said, yeah, because she had a pet. Robbie had a pet, and I think Devin has a cat. I can't remember. I'm pretty positive it's a cat, because, I mean, if he has a dog, then he has to get rid of his dog because he freezes up when he sees dogs. So now Steel wants to have a pet of his own. And, you know, Nate was like, I don't know if you will be able to handle a pet, Steel, so let's start out small. Let's start with a potted plant first. And Devin was like, you know what? Let me take him to get a potted plant. I'm like, a potted plant? You know, I remember in 2nd grade, I had a potted plant. It was a bean plant. I killed it. You know, it grew when we were in school. My teacher, she had us grow it while we were in class. And then once it grew to a certain level, we were able to take our bean plants home with us. Well, when I got my bean plant home, unfortunately, I killed it because I overwatered the damn thing. Literally, I overwatered that bean plant. I didn't know, you know, as a kid, as a little boy, I just, you know, like, oh, it looks a little dry. There goes some water. Oh, you still look dry. There goes some more water. So I just overwatered my damn plant. But that's neither here nor there for me, because I'm actually good with animals. I just wasn't good with plants. So, in the cyber dimension, we see Scrozzle. So, Scrozzle is talking about, you know, he's made some modifications. He's updated the Robotron maker to activate the memory pulsator, which they put at the top of the TV, you know, the TV station on the satellite. So, to start phase 2 of their plan. And phase 2 of the plan is they'll send out a signal that'll stop everyone in Coral Harbor in their tracks. And, you know, they won't remember anything about Evox or his attacks. And also, at Grid Battle Force, what they'll remember events from the first episode when the Rangers were revealed. It was Blaze, it was Roxy, and it was Robbie. So, the events that happened in that episode have not happened in the minds of these people now. You know, so Devin and Zoe have not become the Power Rangers. In fact, Evox's virus didn't even corrupt Blaze and Roxy. They actually became the Power Rangers. So, you know, that's where we are right now. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting, because I saw a steal of the episode, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why do I see Blaze and Roxy in their Ranger forms? Now it makes sense, and we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. All right, you guys. So, where was I? Because there was a bird that was annoying the shit out of me. Okay, so we're at Grid Battle Force. Zoe, she's in the lab with Nate. So, you know, the memory pulsator has, you know, sent out its signals. So everyone is now under its, you know, trance, its spell. They've lost their memories, so to speak. And, you know, she looks around, she's like, Nate, what am I doing in the lab with you? I'm supposed to be in the laundry room. So then we see Steel. Steel is getting his potted plant, who he named Spot. I'm like, why would you name a plant Spot? I mean, I guess because the plant has some spots on it, but why the hell would you name a plant in the first place? But okay, whatever. So Devin loses his memory, so Devin loses his memory, but Steel, since Steel is half robot, half human, he's not affected by this this. So then he's trying to remind Devin that Devin, you are the Red Power Ranger, and he says, you know what? How would you like to go? Because remember in the first episode, Devin was all about finding I guess a simulator to play on. So he was like, how about we go to Grid Battle Force and you can play on it? He says, okay, let's go. So as they're on their way to Grid Battle Force, um, Steel, he sees Blaze and Roxy walking. He's like, wait a minute, why are Blaze and Roxy here? This cannot be good. So then he figures it out. He's like, okay, maybe this was a part of their plan for everyone to lose their memories, so that way, they could, I guess, infiltrate Grid Battle Force. Which I'm like, Steel, you're onto something. So then Ben and Betty pops up, and they tell Steel and Devin that they're the frick, a fucking plane. God dang. So they tell them that they're trespassing, and then they notice they have on their wrist comms. He says, we need those wrist comms. So they Devin's like, shoo, you ain't gotta tell me nothing. Here, take this. I don't need this shit. So then Steel is like, nope, this is mine, and you're not gonna get it. So then they want to go and battle with Steel for it. So Steel detaches his arm, and his arm has a little battle with Ben and Betty. I'm just like, okay. This, I mean, it was funny for what it was. And then they do, I guess they somehow managed to get the wrist comm from his actual detachable arm. I don't know how, but they got it. So then not out of nowhere, but Vargoyle shows up, and he's talking about the memory pulsator that's on the the satellite on the TV station at the tower. And then we see actually Steel first started battling with Vargoyle. Then Devin, he was like, wait a minute, I gotta help my robot friend. So then he starts to help him, and then he somehow activates his cheetah speed. And it's like, wow, where'd that come from? And Steel says, that's your cheetah abilities. And he's like, okay, so then I must be a Power Ranger? He was like, yes. So then he says, so how do I activate my powers? He says, well, we actually need our wrist comm so that way we can activate our morphers. So he says, you know what? I'm going to zoom over there and get them from Ben and Betty, and we're good. So he does. He goes over there, gets the wrist comms from Ben and Betty, and Vargoyle ends up leaving. Now, Vargoyle doesn't... I do like Vargoyle, and I'll tell you guys why I like Vargoyle. Because Vargoyle is much different from Roxy and Blaze. Because you guys know, like I say every week, when it comes to a battle with the Rangers and between Roxy and Blaze, they typically retreat in battle. Vargoyle, he didn't really retreat. He didn't retreat. Like, he gave them a good run for their money, especially Steel, because he threw Steel in the trash can. So, I like that. I just wish, with Blaze and Roxy, I wish they didn't retreat as much as they did. But it is what it is. Can't do nothing about it. So let's move on, you guys. Alright, you guys, so let's move over to Grid Battle Force. So, at Grid Battle Force, we have Avatar Blaze and Roxy there. And, they're telling Zoe, Ravi, and Nate that they need them to pack up the spare mega transporters. And then, we see that Blaze and Roxy go in there, where, the real Blaze and Roxy are in their stasis tubes. And then we see Roxy, she has this little flash drive, and she just sticks it into the stasis drive of Roxy. Now, I find it odd. I find this odd. I know that they have Blaze and Roxy's face, but... maybe I'm thinking too hard. I could be thinking too hard into this, but... when they need a badge to get into where Blaze and Roxy are, like they don't have their wrist comms on. I know I'm thinking a little bit too deep into this, but I'm just thinking, But like I said, nonetheless, they got in there. So then we see Steel and Devin. So Steel and Devin make it to the TV station, and they do see the satellite that is, transmitting the memory pulsator. So they try to blast it, but it has a shield around it, so they're not able to touch it. So then Devin tries to climb it, but he gets electrocuted by it. I'm like, well, that must not have been a heavy jolt of electricity, because that would have fried him. But this is a kids show, so we're just gonna let it be. So then Devin says, maybe I can disconnect it if he finds the, where they can shut off the power. So then Steel starts to climb it, and Devin, leaves to go find the shut off. But on his way there, he runs into a guy who tells him where to go, but he also runs into Vargoyle. So, he morphs into the Red Ranger, and then he and Vargoyle, they start to fight with each other. And before they fight, Vargoyle notices that his Morphex energy is low, so he calls Scrozzle, and Scrozzle says, well, you have enough energy to, use your cheetah speed. And he says, if you say please, I'll send you some more Morphex energy. And Blaze grabs the Morphex energy, says, not so fast, Scrozzle. That's not going to happen. And Scrozzle's like, oh, okay. I see what's going on. So then we do see, the battle between Vargoyle and Devin using the cheetah powers. And we do see that Steel makes it to the top of the satellite, and he takes out the memory pulsators. And then, Devin gets his memory back. Zoe, Robbie, and Nate get their memories back, but not in enough time, because at this point, they put the memory pulsators in the back of one of those Grid Battle Force vehicles, and Blaze and Roxy are there, and they're like, wait a minute, what are you two doing here? And they say, oh, we're just taking those memory pulsators, and they teleport out with the memory pulsators, and I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, so I wonder what is the big plan with this. But he doesn't have a body. Because I just thought about it. The memory pulsators, those are the things that transport you between different, transports them. Because that's what they use in episode 1 to transport them to the cyber dimension. So I would assume they're going to try to transport Evox, but at this point, Evox has no body. So kind of confused. Speaking of the memory pulsators, let's just talk about this one scene that I completely forgot about. Ben and Betty. Now, I love Ben and Betty, but damn, sometimes their antics it's a little bit all over the place. And in this episode, it was all over the place for me. The fact they, broke one of the memory pulsators and it just kept teleporting them between different dimensions. I'm like, yeah, you could have kind of kept this part of the episode. It wasn't funny to me, but, maybe some kids out there like it, and hopefully no kids are watching this. No offense, kids, but if you are, you are. So then we do see that Devin, he does defeat Vargoyle. So then also we're back at Grid Battle Force. So Commander Shaw calls the Rangers, and she tells them that there is a Gigadrone that is in the city. So we see Devin, Robbie, and Zoe. They go to intercept the Gigadrone, and they're leaving Nate to fix Steel, because when Steel got to the top of the satellite, he got electrocuted and he fell down to the ground, and he just thud. So we do see the Rangers. They do end up defeating the Gigadrone, and so they go back to Grid Battle Force, and Nate, he reboots Steel, and Steel comes back. So then they're talking to Steel, and well, actually Steel is talking. He's talking about his plant. He wasn't able to save it because, Vargoyle set that bitch on fire. He said that. He torched the hell out of that. I mean, he just torched that plant. It was burnt to a crisp. So, Nate was like, I kind of thought you couldn't take care of, another human or an animal or whatever. But, knowing what you did to get us our memories back, I realized the errors in my ways. So Steel's like, well, can I get an animal? He's like, yes, Steel. So then we do see Steel. He has a dog named Spot. And they're in the park walking Spot. And then there's a little girl that comes up. And Steel's like, you know what? How would you like to have Spot? Because, he doesn't have the time to really take care of the dog and give the dog the love that he needs. And she's like, sure, I'll take the dog. So, she and her mom take the dog and they dip out. Ben and Betty return from wherever they came from. So let's just wrap this up. So we saw in the cyber dimension, so Roxy and Blaze, they do have the mega transporters, and they tell Evox that they did sabotage one of the stasis pods, which was Roxy's stasis pod. So I guess this is a part of their final plan. I guess we'll see the final plan start to unravel in next week's episode, since next week's episode is the next to last episode before the finale. So you guys, let me know what you guys think about the episode. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button so you guys know when I drop anything. Share the video, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, Ranger Nation.